Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah and I love to do sewing projects, and I'm also an environmental scientist by training, and I love insects, and I decided to make a beetle pillow because it basically combines my two favorite things, nature and sewing. And I was very much inspired by Scarlett from Afraid Upcycling. She does these amazing scrappy beetles in her workshops, and I think they're super fun and super cool. Hers are more for like decoration, but I thought I could maybe take that idea and make it more my own and make a pillow out of it so that you have a nice fun pillow that you can throw on your sofa or your bed. And this week I just want to show you how I created Bob the Beetle, because this was such an easy project and it's perfect for using your teeny tiny fabric scraps. I assure you that you don't really need to go out and buy anything. I made mine completely from scratch, and this is super customizable with the sizing, the colors, the shape, basically everything you can customize to your needs. And yeah, I will walk you through the whole process and explain everything that I did. Let's get started. To create my bug pillow pattern, I just glued some pieces of paper together and made sure that they had roughly the size of a pillow that I would like to recreate. And then I just looked online for beetle images, like clip art images, or honestly, you can use whatever you like. And I just projected them onto my TV. And then I carefully traced them with a pencil. And this is just a little hack that I have for you if you don't have a projector. And I also repeated that for the legs. I just put them on a separate piece of paper just so that I can add my seam allowance later. And for the seam allowance, I just use 1 centimeter and trace that all around my beetle. And then it was already time to select some fabrics, and for the legs I just used some leftover denim that I've used for different projects, and I still have tiny pieces left over. And then for my patchwork part of the beetle, I just looked in my fabric stash and picked out everything that kind of looked nice or had like nice patterns. And yeah, this is a perfect project to use these teeny tiny scraps that you might have lying around and give them a new life. And I just put them onto my paper pattern to sort of see what colors work together, what do I like, what color scheme do I want to follow, and which fabrics might be the best. Okay, so I've ironed all of my colorful fabric here that I could use for the patchworking, but I would like to add some sort of base fabric, just so that I have something to stitch my patchwork pieces onto. And I also need a backside for my beetle. And I will use some leftover cotton. So this is a bed sheet that I dyed for a different project, and I have a little bit left over, and I will cut 2 pieces of my main beetle shape right here. And then I will use 1 piece as sort of the front side where I can stitch all of my applique and patchwork on. So I have cut out my beetle shape in this nice green color, and I think I will start with sort of, I guess, the neck part here. I'm not sure how you call this actually. But I have a piece of this lovely fabric left over that I used for the jacket that I made a couple of months ago now. And I think it fits quite nicely here. I just need to shorten this side a little bit, and I will start stitching this down using a small zigzag stitch. Okay, so I have just laid down my pieces. As you can see, it is very patchworky, but that's the whole point, kind of. I think this is very much a trust the process project. And I love all of my fabrics, and I love especially the neck part. And I also love this dark green underlay fabric, or the lining fabric, because I think it matches quite well with the other like tones that I have going on here. So this is the current beetle. I think it looks quite cute. As I said, the wings are quite messy, but here and then here there will be some sort of ribbon or lace or trim to sort of frame the wings and the different body parts. And my next step will be just basically sewing down all of these pieces. I think I would just do zigzag stitches all over and sort of try to pin the pieces as they are right now, because I don't think I can recreate this layout. And yeah, then I will just start using zigzag stitch. I have a red thread, and yeah, secure everything. So I've just attached all of my applique fabrics, and now I want to add a little bit more detail to sort of separate the different body parts and also make the wings more apparent as wings. And I have a lot of different ribbons and stuff that I could use, and I think I would like to use this piece here to sort of delineate the wings, and would go like this, and then another piece like this. And then I'm also thinking that I could use this ribbon to sort of separate the main body from the neck and the head here. And I'm gonna sew this on. I will not use a zigzag stitch because I already ironed this piece here, so I don't have any raw edges showing, so I think I could just use a straight stitch. So it's been a couple of days now. I just wanted to give you a little progress update on my beetle. So I have attached my sort of trim pieces and also the piece here that sort of differentiates or sections off the two wings. And I really like it. I think it turned out so cute. And now my next step is actually the legs. So I have 3 legs on each side. I have like the front legs, the middle legs, and then the back legs. And I will just connect the legs first, put them right sides together and turn them inside out so that I have basically a little tube. And in that tube I can put then some fabric scraps to make them more chunky basically, and more 3D in that sense. And yeah, I will do that for all 3 legs on either side, so 6 legs in total. And then I can attach them when I connect sort of my main bodice piece and the back piece together. So I would just sandwich my legs in between here, and then I can sew it everything all at once. And I hope that the legs won't be too difficult. I hate sewing those small little tubes, so I hope that everything works out well. But yeah, let's get started. Okay, this took absolutely forever, and it's just 1 leg done out of 6. But yeah, that is the finished leg, and here for comparison it is just a fabric that I have not sewn together yet. And as you can see, there's a slight difference in the shape. It's very hard to do these edges here. So in my actual finished leg piece, they are very yeah, it's like a light version of these corners and shapes here. But I think it's fine. It works for me, and I think the leg size is actually quite good. Even though this took forever, I'm very happy with how it looks. So I will just do the other legs, and I'm keeping all of my scraps in my little scrap tin here, and I can use these to then fill my leg pieces in the end. Okay, all of my pieces are now done. As you can see, they're quite chunky, but I really like that actually. And now I just need to attach everything. So while I was filling my pieces with my leftover fabric, I made sure not to fill them all to the edge basically, but instead I try to leave about 1 centimeter that is not filled, so that way I can just sew it without having to sew through all of these different layers of fabric. So that's why they are always quite flat here at the top. And now I just need to assemble everything and sort of mark where my legs are going. So I will be referring back to my main inspiration image and just placing my legs up here. And I also need to make sure that my front legs, I think it was this one, is going upwards. And then I also have my top part here that I need to attach. And yeah, I will figure out the spacing, and then I can basically pin everything in place and sew all of my pieces right sides together. So I will fold my legs to the inside, pin everything, and then I can add my backing like this and then sew through all of these layers. And I will leave a little opening probably here at the bottom, because as you see the legs are pointing out here anyways, and then I can leave an opening and turn my beetle inside out. For my stuffing, so basically the inside of my bug pillow, I will be using this old IKEA pillow insert that I have in my stash for a couple of years now. Honestly, I have too many pillows anyway, and I thought I could just upcycle it. I don't really need it. So yeah, that's what I will be using. But of course you could use maybe some old clothing items that you no longer wear, or use fabric scraps or whatever you have lying around. I just have this pillow, so I'm gonna use it. And yeah, I will just cut it up into pieces, and then that can serve as my basically stuffing for the bug pillow. Of hours now. I've stuffed and sewn up my beetle, and he's a bit scary, I have to say, but I really like him. But he has these very long legs. I think my boyfriend is a little scared. He doesn't like bugs, but I do. But yeah, he has long arms and he is kind of big, but at the same time I wish I would have made him a bit bigger, but I think that's something I could do next time. He almost has like the size of a baby. Oh my god, what have I created? But But yeah, overall I'm super happy. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who likes, comments and subscribes. That really helps me out, and I hope that I get to inspire you to create these little weird projects or big weird projects. And yeah, now it's time for the reveal.